Hey y'all, this is Nina Stevens, and I'm in the South where sushi is still called bait. So, what am I doing today? Today, I am going to show you how I process the honey that comes from my hives. So, come on back and I'll show you how I crush and strain. Alright, so I just put up the video of us, me and Josh, going through the big beehive, and the honey that was capped, I kept it out and put it in a cooler. That's to keep the bees off of it, because they will take it back. And now I'm going to show you what I do to crush and strain and process the honey and the wax at the same time. So let me pull you down here and I'll show you what I got going on. Alright, so this is my cutting area, and I'm going to try to keep everything as clean as I can. Everything's been sterilized. My jars, my cutting board, my canner. This t-shirt is what I used to strain my honey with, and it last year when I used it, I washed it and folded it up, and this is the only thing that I use it for, is straining honey. So I've just got this t-shirt draped over my canner, and I've got it attached with a rubber band. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the honey out of the frame here, and then I'm going to put it in here and I'm going to crush it up, and I'll show you how I do that. Alright, so this is the honey on one of the frames that we took out of the hive yesterday. And it's all capped, so I'm fixing to cut it off the frame. Just like this. This is pieces of honey. I'm going to cut it all off and put it in there. And I'm going to show you, after I get done with this, what I do with the wax that comes from my hive as well. Alright, so I lift it up, and what's remaining is the honey. So the only thing that I do with my honey is I crush and strain it. This is a time-consuming process, and that's why I don't take my honey to farmers markets or anywhere, because everybody wants honey for free. I just don't think that's something I want to give somebody. So I'm going to leave that there and let it strain. The only thing that I do is strain the bee's knees out. Everything else, I don't cook it, I don't process it. Now this was only the one hive, so I've got 3 more to do. But I'm trying to wait to see how my top bar hive does before I go into the other hives. Hopefully the bees in the big hive that I took out and I put in the top bar hive, they'll be happy and they stay. I'm hoping I don't go out there in a couple of days and check them and they're all gone. That's what I fear. But, you know, if that happens, it is what it is. I couldn't take care of the hive the way it was, so it had to be done. I know Paul Otis left a comment and asked, wasn't I going to split that hive? Nope. The plan was to break it down and put it in a top bar beehive so it could be manageable with me by myself. So that was the plan all along. So I'm going to break this all up and get it straining. And I've got the air on in here, so it's kind of cool. Thank goodness, because it's very humid. So I may have to turn the air off and let this, you know, let it warm up in here for it to strain faster. I don't have an extractor, and that's why I'm doing my honey this way. If I had an extractor, then I wouldn't have to crush and strain it, but I don't have one, so this is how it's being done. These are the wires from the frames, and I take them out and keep right on trucking. Okay, so I'm going to let this strain because it's pretty full, and when all this liquid honey gets through the shirt, then I'll keep squeezing and keep squeezing until I get only the wax remaining. Now, let me show you what I do with the wax when all this is done. Okay, so I got my jars set up here. These are half-gallon jars. I've got some quarts, I've got some pints, I've even got a gallon jar. I don't know how much I'll need. This was a small harvest because I left a lot of the honey in there because it wasn't capped. So the wax that remains, this is a baking pan. Okay, it's old, and I don't use this for anything other than beeswax. Okay, so in the bottom of this I have some water. This is a rack, just a plain oven safe rack, and I set it on top of this baking pan. These are paper towels. So this is the used wax that is done. There's no more honey left in it. So I'm going to set it on top of this paper towel, and then set it on top of this, and this whole thing sets in the oven. And I have my oven set on 250 degrees. So as this softens, it's going to drip through the paper towel, and the paper towels are going to filter it. So when it ends up in the water beneath, it's going to already be cleaned, and it's going to flatten out, and the water keeps the wax from sticking to the pan. This is my filtering system for my wax. So when all of the wax is done, this is what you end up with. This is a wax plank that comes from the pan after it's finished filtering through the paper towels. And I will let this filter, and then I'll take these paper towels up and put them in the trash because all that's left on top after you set it in the oven and let it melt is debris. You don't want that debris in your wax. As you can see, my wax is very clean. So then I'll put some fresh paper towels down and put some more, and set it back in the oven and let it do it again. And I'll keep filtering the wax until all of the wax is filtered. And this is what you end up with, your plank. So I'm going to keep on with my job here. And when I get all of this honey crushed and strained. Okay, so I'm going to keep on with my project. And when I get all of the honey crushed and strained and bottled, I'll bring you back, and we'll see how much I ended up with. And like I said, I have 3 more hives to do, but I want to check and I want to know how this top bar hive is going to do before I go into my other hives. So I'm kind of leaving them rest so I can keep an eye on them. Hopefully they won't leave. Don't leave me, don't leave me. So anyway, I'll bring you back, and we'll see how much I ended up with. Yay! So I'm continuing on with the processing of the wax. Now there are other ways to do this. You can put it in a crock pot and do it that way. But this is just the way I do it. There's several different ways you can do this. Okay, so this is what I ended up with so far. So I ended up with 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10. Let's see. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13. I ended up with 13 quarts and some wax from those few frames that I kept out of the hive that I transferred to the top bar beehive. So it wasn't a big harvest, but it, you know, it's good enough for me. I think I sent the good wax, the plentiful, not so full of debris. I think I sent that with Spicy, and I think he's going to do something with it. But so I hope you enjoyed the process that I go through to harvest the honey from the hive and crush and strain it and then bottle it. This will go in my stores, my supplies, and I'll have honey for a good while. So if you like this sort of stuff, leave me a thumbs up. Those are awesome. So that's it for me, and until next time, I'll see you later.